welcome back to the cheat code. So with the last post that I had made, I had done some channeled messages, some oracle cards, and some tarot cards, and just provided some more information and as I was guided by my spirit guides to provide, and just my own input and my own intuition, and just trying to deduce what I felt is a situation that I think is probably not going to have the outcome that I would like it to have, and I'm sure many of us would like it to have. But there was some information that I neglected to provide. It might be relevant, so I thought it was worth making another just quick short video about. And I found it interesting that along with the $25,000 reward that's being offered for Esther, the missing Toronto teen, 14 years old, that went missing on May 15th, 2026, I found it interesting that aside from the name that they gave as Esti, saying that her name is Esther, but she also goes by Esti, I thought it was maybe like a term of endearment or just a short form of her name. But they also added the name Sylvia, which I thought was very interesting. And then the next thing that popped into my mind was alias. So I'm not really too sure if she chose that as a name to go by. Again, I don't really understand 100% how autism, I keep saying autism now as well, which is very interesting. I usually say on the spectrum, but I don't really understand how being on the spectrum works, if that is something that perhaps could have been a name that she chose for herself. But that's something that stuck out to me. The last thing was the next card that was on top of the deck was the Tower. I had shown the card at the bottom of the deck. The bottom of the deck is usually something that is hidden, something that has yet to happen. It's just something that's unknown at the moment. But the next card is usually what you can expect next, and it was the Tower card. And the Tower card represents a sudden change. Usually it's, depending on what other cards it's accompanied by, if you're looking at it based on the other cards that I had pulled and the messages and the channel messages that I had received, I believe that there is going to be something that is going to rock the situation to its core. And it could be the discovery that she might not be with us any longer, or it could just be a shocking revelation of some sort. But regardless, the essence of that card is something that is broken down to its foundation because it was built on a rocky foundation. So again, I'm still hoping for the best, and I'm still praying for their family, praying for Esther. And I just wanted to share that last update. And again, it's the cheat code. You can find me on TikTok, and again, you can find me on YouTube under the same name. It's the cheat code 111, and until next time. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's the cheat code. So I am coming back to you now with some good news. Apparently the missing teen, the 14-year-old teen Esther, has been found safe. This is according to CP24, City Pulse 24, a Toronto news station. So I saw the headline and I said, let me give an update. So it says the 14-year-old Toronto girl who went missing nearly 2 weeks ago and was the subject of an intensive search has been found safe. Toronto police shared the news in a post on social media just after 2 p.m. on Thursday. So that would be today. Investigators say they will provide more information during an update scheduled for 3 p.m., which is not too long from now. So I'm looking forward to finding out any information that they can provide. I'm very curious about this one. I still have an uneasy feeling. I'm glad that I was wrong, that she was not gone. Maybe I don't know what information I was picking up on, but we're gonna see what happens, when the details come out, if maybe certain aspects or however I was translating the information that I was given from my guides. Because again, as I mentioned in one of the readings, they were trying to get me to do or draw a parallel between her and the girl Celeste that was unalived by, is charged by being unalived by the singer David. So they've been trying to get me to do that reading for a long time, and they just kind of mashed both of them together. So we'll see. But my immediate intuition was telling me that I didn't feel that she was still with us. So I'm going to see what information came out and how that interpretation came about. But I'm glad that she's safe, and we're going to get some more information about it. There's something else I wanted to mention. I found it very interesting as well that as soon as they put up the $25,000 reward, all of a sudden she turns up. So, not to be a conspiracy theorist, because I definitely don't go by that, but with all the ascension symptoms and the spiritual attacks and everything that's going on, I've just been nonstop dizzy. Even as I'm recording this right now, it's like I'm on 1 hour of sleep in like the last 24 hours, and my head is spinning. So, I'm gonna wait for the update, and then I will post another update. I'm glad that she's safe, and God bless her and her family. I hope that she was found well and that there was no harm that came to her. Again, it's the cheat code. Hey y'all, welcome back to the cheat code. Okay, so I said that I would be back with an update about the missing teen Esther, the 14-year-old teen that went missing. It was May 15th, 2026. So there's a couple of points that I took from a news conference that was held today, which is Thursday, May 28th, 2026, because she has been found safe, thankfully. And I would recommend that you do is go back and look at my two previous readings that I posted, that included some channeled messages, some things that I found to be a little bit odd, a little bit strange. And then with the information that I'm going to provide now, see how it syncs up. Because although I was getting very strongly that she was unalived, there still is a possibility. One of the challenges, not just with the spiritual things that I'm dealing with, like ascension and attacks and things like that, and all these weird symptoms that are distorting things for me, but as someone who basically channels, someone who receives messages, it's difficult because you have to interpret whatever energies are sending you these messages. So if they're higher level energies and they're using, sometimes you get like ringing in your ear, and then all of a sudden you have this information in your head. Other times you'll actually hear things like clairaudiently. You'll hear things. Other times you'll get images in your head, and it's up to you to interpret it. So they could be giving you complete accurate information, and you could be misunderstanding it. So that happens at times, but let me get to the point. So at the news conference, there was an officer there. I didn't get his name, but we're just going to stick to the points. So Esther, as I mentioned, she was found. They said she was found in good physical health. She was taken to the hospital to assess her physical and mental health. She was found in a home in Toronto. The police they're investigating if there's any criminal element to her disappearance. So they're still investigating that part. The police said that for privacy, they will not further comment. They continue to field questions, though, and a reporter said she was found in a home with a man in Rexdale, and the police said we can't comment on that. So I'm curious as to how she was barefoot, no phone, and ended up from the actual park all the way to Rexdale. So they kind of went around that as well. They don't know how she got there. Um, no one has been charged or arrested. They will not say how she got to the home, as I mentioned. What led them to finding her at the home was that there was video surveillance. So I guess just as they found her in one area, then they checked surveillance in other areas that were close to that area, and just kind of like following like a trail of crumbs, so to speak, to find out where she was, among other factors that they will not mention. So there's a lot of information that they're not giving, which is fair, but it still kind of leads to the overall what's really going on, because there's just this weird feeling that I'm getting, and it echoes in the comments. There aren't even a lot of videos online or updates about Esther, even when she was missing. So the few comments that are there keep saying that something's strange about this situation. So I'm just proactively, just as it's coming to me, because there's a lot of energy that I said is like just coursing through me on a regular basis. So just proactively, I'm thinking like, uh, what was her name again? I think it's Amanda Smart. I'll correct her name if it's wrong. The girl who went missing and she ended up being like down the street or something like that. And they recently did a Netflix video on her. I feel like this is going to take a long time to get the real truth and the actual details. And I don't think that it's actually going to come from the family. It might come from people around the family, close to the family, or who know the family. That's just my 2 cents that I feel. Um, they don't know if she was wearing the same clothes that she left home in. They're they don't know the number of people in the home when the police arrived. Let's see. Again, I'm just going through my notes here. They also don't know if she knew the people in the house, and they said people. This was one of the reporters, not the man. So they said she was found with a man, and they were asking if there were other people in the home. But specifically, they said that they're asking if she knows the man, and they don't know. The police do not know if she knows the people, if people were looking for her, but her father did say that she's practically a genius because she's always 10 steps ahead, and that people wouldn't even know that she was on the spectrum unless, they were able to pick up on certain little things from her. So that also, keep that in mind. There's no age range for the man that she was found with. So again, they keep referencing this man, but he's not a suspect. No one's been arrested. This is all very interesting. There's no concern. They said there's no concern for any racial or anti-Semitic motivation for her disappearance. Her parents are believed to be relieved. The officer or the sheriff, he said that he hasn't spoken to the parents themselves. Um, they also confirmed that they combed the park, including using drones. So as I was also getting like, how did they go through the entire park and not find her anywhere? And then she just ended up like essentially, I guess you could say like a city away. Um, my spirit guides are saying county, but I don't think that we use that terminology in county in Canada. But I guess within the same city, but just kind of, a different region. Um, what else? They do not know if she was lured from her home. They confirmed people were pulling down posters, and that was previously reported. The officer just commented that, he doesn't know why someone would do something like that to disrupt um, their investigation, or their search, actually, I should say. So that's very interesting as well as terms of who was pulling down the posters and what was the motivation. Um, there were many tips that they said that they were getting daily, but they cannot say if the tips led to her being found. But to keep in mind also that Esther was found the day after they announced a $25,000 reward. So I find that to be interesting as well. A spokesperson for the family said that she is relieved and that she found the news about Esther um, by saying, someone told me. So again, this all sounds very odd. She's a spokesperson for the family, but somebody told her that Esther was found. She said she has not spoken to the family either. So a spokesperson for the family has not spoken to the family. Um, the police also said that there's no suspect at this time. But again, she was found with a man, so I don't know why he's not at least a suspect. Uh, and there's no one in custody presently. The reporters asked for some of, excuse me, yeah, the reporters asked if someone from the Jewish community group Shurim, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. I can't remember the exact name, but I think it's Shurim. If they would speak, and they said no. They didn't want to say anything about it. They were the ones, I believe, that were offering the reward as well. And the police confirmed that the phone number that was tied to the reward was not the same phone number that was given for tips. So basically, they said that, not basically, but the sheriff or the officer, he said that as the tips were coming into the other phone number, they were being given to the police. However, I'm inclined to believe that how can they guarantee that a complete separate entity that's taking tips is giving all the information to the police. And they also were the ones, again, that were responsible for offering the reward. And then Esther turns up the next day. So the police also said, yeah, okay, I'm just repeating myself here. That yeah, that the tips were relayed back to from Shireen, but were relayed back to the police. There's some notes that I made here. Okay, so in just going over the notes, I think I've pretty much covered everything. I'm just going to reiterate. Um, go back to my two previous posts about Esther, and there's a lot that's like syncing up, as I mentioned. It still seems very suspicious. I'm still going to keep my eye on it. And I wanted to correct myself. I said Amanda Smart, it's Elizabeth Smart. Like I said, I don't really like delving into these types of missing cases and things like that. It just personally is disturbing. So, and then all the energy that's going on is just, anyway, the point is, I was referencing Elizabeth Smart. It was giving me that type of um, vibe, we'll say. Lastly, the parents did release a statement, and the part that I wanted to mention, I wanted to leave this update with, is something that I found very interesting. Is that they said that they wanted people to refrain from speculating, and I'm just going to leave it there. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. I think, again, this is something that's going to take a long time to unfold. I think if there's any information that comes out in any sort of detail, I don't believe it'll be from the family. But again, this is just an update in regards to the missing teen, Esther, Esti. Apparently, she also goes by Sylvia. And again, it's a cheat code. I am back with just a quick additional note that I forgot to mention earlier. When I had did the reading on Esther, and it was a combination, I was getting messages about Esther and also about Celeste, the person who was unalived by the singer David. And I remember the first card that I pulled was alive, and I got a quick flash of the mother's face, Esther's mother's face. And again, as I had mentioned previously, sometimes it depends on the how you interpret the messages. It could have been in regards to saying that Esther is still alive, even though I was getting something different, because I had watched something recently where there was a streamer who was deliberately getting himself choked out. It's clavicular. I have a post to make about him as well. He was deliberately getting choked out to be unconscious. And then when he was unconscious, he started to have a seizure and then he came to. And it is possible that in this case, I might have been picking up on something similar. Not to say that I'm correct with what I had interpreted, but it is possible that when I pulled that alive card and I saw Esther's mother's face, that it could have been my guides trying to say that she is still alive. And maybe you're picking up on maybe she had a point where she might have passed out, she might have lost consciousness, or maybe she might have been choked. So, I wanted to just point that out because when it comes to channeling messages, sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. But again, thank you for tuning in, and it's the cheat code.